during holidays, during times that I was injured, during times that I had COVID. I was still calling owners. I had people in the Philippines cold calling property owners. And then at the same time, I was studying underwriting. And then there's a free underwriting class that one of my partners teaches every Saturday. He was showing me some opportunities before they seemed a little bit too rough for me. And then when he was telling me about this 160 deal, that one caught my attention.
Yo, what is up, everybody? I'm Matt Drouin. I'm the host of the Go Big Live Real Estate Investors Podcast, the show to listen to and to watch if you are a tired real estate investor that's been buying single family, small multifamily houses, looking to level up into the commercial level game and really make more impact on achieving your big, hairy financial goals. I am psyched out of my mind today to have on very special guest, Mr. Jason Malabute, an MBA, a CPA, a seasoned real estate investor, an active philanthropist. Born in Los Angeles, he started his journey in single family homes. Got tired of it, but actually backing up a little bit, I love the story about how he actually, the reason why I got into real estate was because he was jealous as a CPA of one of his clients and doing his tax returns, being like, maybe I want to do this, which is a very rare thing for a CPA to get into real estate. So that's a unicorn of itself. And the bottom line is this: after hearing Jason's story, you have no damn excuses whatsoever in pursuing your dreams and aspirations. That being said, sorry for a long-winded intro, Jason. I appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you having me on your platform.
Excellent. So first question's a doozy, Jason. You were born, now you're here. What happened in between?
Uh, a lot has happened in between. That's a short, response. But I'm going more into details. I was born and raised here in Los Angeles, California. I was born with cerebral palsy. And then crazy story is when I was in high school, I thought that I was going to be the first professional basketball player with a disability. That obviously did not work out. So I went to college, had no idea what I wanted to be. So my mom suggested that you should be an accountant since I since her and my dad always pushed me toward entrepreneurship. She thought that accounting would be something good for me to study. Since that will teach me how to manage my money. So I said, I don't have any other better ideas, so let's do it. I got my bachelor's in accounting, got my MBA. I started working for an accounting firm back in 2013, got my CPA license in 2015. I was working with a wide range of clients from different industries, whether it was real estate, pharmaceutical, entertainment, and nothing really clicked for me until I was doing one of my clients' tax return, and they had a single family house, and I realized that he was making money from that single family house, whether he was working or not. And I said, this looks interesting. Real estate looks interesting. So I remember in 2018, I didn't do any deals. I was just studying real estate investing. I was on Bigger Pockets. I was posting a question every single day. I was watching on a podcast just like this one. And then in 2019, I said that I'm gonna buy some properties, and that I've heard all of the naysayers tell me that you are crazy for getting into real estate. And then when I told them that I was gonna invest out of state, they thought even more that I'd lost my mind. But going back 2019, I started buying single family houses. out in Indianapolis, Indiana. I was doing buy and hold. I was doing birds, and from there in 2020, I decided that I wanted to get into multifamily. And here's the crazy thing: is I was looking for my first deal for 3 years, and I actually quit my job back in 2021. I said to myself, I'm done with account. I'm done with accounting. I'm gonna be a big time real estate investor now. I'm gonna do this full time. And then in 2023, I became a general partner on two deals. One was a 106 unit property, and the other one was a 236 unit property. What I've learned from those deals is that there's a lot of lack. Working with property managers, their strength is not accounting, so there's a lot of misclassification of accounts for bookkeeping when it comes to them keeping your accounting for your properties, and also some of the accountants that we were working with to do our taxes and that to get us a K1 for our passive investors. They take a really long time just to answer, some questions. They take a long time to finalize the tax return. So I said, there's something here. So that's why I decided that to get back into accounting, start my own firm, and specialize in serving the real estate community when it comes to helping them with their taxes and accounting. And that was my quick version of my story of how I got from point A being born to here today.
Excellent. No, that's an amazing story. And also to go on to the point of, especially if you're bringing on equity partners, there's these things that a lot of people have never heard before, which is a K1, and partnership returns are due by the 15th of March every year. And normally, if you're riding solo and a sole proprietor, you can extend your tax returns until fall. But the first time I got my lickings from an investor was like, I extended my returns, and then I was like, hey, you should be good with extending your returns. Like, no, I don't want to extend my returns. Like, I need this thing by the 15th, and I was dealing with a heap of a mess that I had to sort out. And this investor said, if you are ever late and filing the partnership return and don't get my K1s on time, I'm never investing with you again. And that was the single moment that taught me that, all right, you got to have your stuff in order to do that. You can't do same old Matt in the process. So, Jason, let's dive into, we're talking in the green room about a specific deal that was big for you at the time, because a lot of people listen to this show are like, hey, I own some multifamily, small multifamily properties. I'm really mystified as to what it, takes to scale up and the challenges involved with that. So do you have a case study in mind for us today to pull apart?
Yeah, we could talk about my first big deal, which is like the 106 unit property that we closed on last year in Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that. I guess tell me about the origin of this opportunity. Like, was this something where you're going out actively finding deals? Is this something where somebody called you in, hey Jason, we need help with this deal? Like, tell me about kind of the origin of how this thing even became on your radar to begin with.
So here's my story, right? I was telling you guys that I started off in the single family space. That's how I learned the fundamentals of real estate investing. And I was doing the BRRRR deals structure. And for those that doesn't know what's a BRRRR, BRRRR stands for buy, repair, refinance, and repeat, right? So what was happening was I was buying properties in Indianapolis. A lot of them were distressed. I was buying them for $40,000. And then I was putting in, $30,000 in repairs, and then I was waiting for it to be rented out and refinanced. And when you add all that up, my money was stuck in this deal for about, 7 months. So I started thinking to myself, okay, we only have a small amount of time on this earth. Um, we don't know when it's our time to go. So how do I do more things in a shorter amount of time? So that's how I got into the idea of buying multi-family deals. Then, then I was looking for a deal for 3 years, you guys, 2020 to 2023. Um, and when I tell you that I was obsessed in finding my first deal, um, I'm, I'm I'm telling you that like I was on another level. I didn't take a single day off from 2020 to 2023. Um, um, During holidays, during times that I was injured, during times that I had COVID, I was still calling owners. I was talking to brokers. I I had people in the Philippines cold calling property owners for me. And then at the same time, I was studying underwriting, and there's a free underwriting class that one of my partners teaches every Saturday, and we first met through Bigger Pockets, and I was attending his weekly underwriting class, and um, he would show me some opportunities before, but I decided not to do those ones because they seemed a little bit too rough for me. And then when he was telling me about this 106 unit deal, that one caught my attention because at the time everybody was doing, bridge loan deals, which totally scared me to death. But this deal had a long fixed rate debt for for 6 years. So like, that's what really intrigued me. So I went to the property. I did the property tour. I talked to locals and in that market, made sure that it was a good area to be in. I even talked to the local police station to make sure that there was nothing major going on there from a crime wise perspective, and that everything turned out well. So that's why I decided to proceed with that deal.
So, Jason, let me ask you this. So this deal got brought to your attention after you've been like, grinding and analyzing deals and, kissing a lot of frogs in the process. I guess what was your role? Like, how did this, come to be from like, was this person ended up being part of the general partnership? And then like, kind of like, how did you negotiate like your responsibilities and like what you brought to the table to earn your seat at the table as a GP?
Yeah. So during the time, he was looking for somebody who could bring in at-risk capital. So I was able to bring that to the table. I also helped with the capital raise. I was wearing a lot of hats. With my accounting background, I was coordinating with their CPA that they already had at the time, and that I was making sure that everybody was on the same page. Um, in regards to the financials and the K1s, and I was also coordinating with the property manager. So the whole point of that story was that a lot of people think that when you get into real estate, it doesn't matter if it's a small single family house or a 160 deal. This is not a passive business. And my whole goal when I became a part of this deal was to add as much value to the team as possible. And that's how I brought myself into the deal and became a general partner.
Excellent. So let's talk about the raise. I mean, how much money did you I guess have to raise, or how much did you think you could raise? And tell me about that entire process and your methodology and order of operations for that, because that's the one thing that really scares a lot of people that are doing this for the first time. Is that, hey, the reason, one of the reasons, not because I'm mystified of commercial real estate, is like I just don't have the dough to get into my first bigger deal. So walk me through that step by step in terms of what you did on that, and then maybe what you would have done differently in hindsight looking back.
So I would say that I am a go-getter, right? So once I found a deal that I believed in, not only did I put my money where my mouth is, and put my own money into the deal, but I also, help with the capital raise. And being an accountant by trade, um, what what I had to learn was sales, because that's what capital raising is. It's sales. And I remember I was doing cold calling. I must have called hundreds, if not thousands of people. I'm asking them for money. I was also sending out social media messages. I also had my own meetup here in Los Angeles, where we had 20 to 50 people come to my meetup every single month. So those are the things that I did to do the capital raise. Um, I think my biggest takeaway is that if I could go back in time, I would personally not do a deal where we didn't finish the raise um, before the deal closed, because what I've learned is that, first of all, capital is very important in real estate, because there's two things that you're trying to avoid in real estate. You don't want to run out of time, and you don't want to run out of money. So moving forward, I would not do any more deals where we don't raise the full amount before the deal closed, because that creates so much headache and stress.
Let's talk about reverse engineering in terms of, I had hundreds, if not thousands, of people contacted. You probably got a lot of no's or rejection in the process. So let's talk about where the people that said yes came from and why.
So from my own experience, people that said yes came from my meetup group, because they saw me, hosting a meetup every single month, so that brought in credibility. And then number two is, funny enough, I also got an investor from cold calling. They live in another part of the country, but I called them. At first, they hung up on me. And then they got a couple weeks later, or a couple of days later, they texted me saying that they may be interested. There's a lot of back and forth, and eventually we got them to invest, because the average close happens between the fourth and 12th contact. So, so that's the thing that most people don't understand, is that you're gonna have to face a lot of objections before you get to the yes. And the whole key is being positive, and overcoming those objections until you finally close the deal.
Now, cold calling. I've only raised capital from people that like I know pretty intimately. I mean, that's the reason why I'm just like, the meetup, for instance, whatever things you can do to raise your KLT factor, the know, like, and trust factor with your sphere of influence and your growing sphere of influence. So where did you get this list of people to cold call? Was it out of your phone, or was it like, did you just like buy a list of, all right, high net worth investors, phone numbers, let's get dialing?
Yeah, so both, right? So I would call my network, and then also remember I was working with an experienced group who's done deals before. And then also he had his list of the people who attended his Saturday underwriting class. Also, so I was calling everybody. I was calling everybody. Most of them didn't pick up. Some of them um, cursed me out. But that's okay because you only need one yes, right?
Jason, how much did you end up raising for this deal in the process?
So so as of today, a couple 100,000.
Excellent, excellent. So, bringing this full circle in terms of what you're doing today on the not only the deal finding space but the capital raising space, what did this deal do for you in terms of like your trajectory and path moving forward?
So I would say that I see real estate and entrepreneurship as a set of steps, meaning that here's what I mean, right? If I could go back in time, I feel like I did everything backwards, right? Because like first thing I did was I bought my primary residence, and the second thing I did was I started buying rental properties. Then now I'm starting my own accounting firm business, right? And knowing what I know now, I would have done things the complete opposite. I would have started my accounting practice. I would buy a business first that cash flows like crazy. I would have stayed home or I would have rented as I was building my business. Then once the business starts cash flowing, I would have taken that extra money and then start buying rental properties so that those can spit out cash flow also on top of my active income. Um, however, when I was growing up, we were not we were not wealthy. So then therefore nobody taught me this stuff. So I had to learn everything on my own. So so what I'm getting to is like by me doing single family, it taught me the fundamentals to do multifamily, which is which is more than just real estate investing. Now you're really learning business and entrepreneurship. And once I learned those skills, then I became more confident to start my own accounting firm. So that's why I see everything as happening for a reason.
So we have a couple minutes left before we have to wrap up the show. Parting words of advice before I want to give a shout out to what you're working on currently in building out your CPA firm that specializes in working with real estate investors. I definitely want to give you the highlight for that because there's a lot of CPAs out there that they're good scorekeepers, but they're not good on the actual like specialization and advising real estate investors going forward. But before we get into that, what is your parting words of advice for our audience out there that is, they're doing the smaller deals and want to scale up in terms of what they can do today, this week, this month, in order that's actionable that they could do to start going towards that direction and getting traction?
I would say that it's not what you know, it's who you know. I wouldn't have been able to be a part of the 106 unit deal and the 236 unit deal if I was not putting myself out there, going to conferences, going to meetups, starting my own meetup. So I would say that if you are just starting out and that you don't know what to do, start going to your local meetup. Start meeting people who are like-minded, like you, and you never know what is gonna come out of those relationships.
Excellent. No, that's money advice. So, Jason, let's talk about the accounting firm. You found a great need there, which I definitely recognize. I mean, our CPAs are great, but I find that I need to, give them the direction or the ideas. Like, this is the idea that I have. Like, can make it possible. Where I wish that my accountant would be like, hey, we've been looking at your tax returns. Like, have you ever considered doing this, and this, instead of just like basically taking orders and being being a scorekeeper, for instance. So, tell us about what your offering is with your firm.
Yeah. So as mentioned, we offer bookkeeping, accounting, taxes, tax planning, and payroll for people who are already in real estate or people who are thinking about getting into real estate, and that we can help them make the right financial decisions for them to get to the next level. For example, right, syndication is a great tool to have. I've done syndication before, and I've also done um, deals on my own. On the single family side, and that's always, you have to know what is the right tool to use for your current situation. For example, if you are able to do your own deals, and if you have the capital to back it up, and if you have the knowledge to back it up, maybe syndication is not the best route for you. Because what people don't talk about is the potential exposure that comes with this syndication. So like, you really have to know what you are doing before you get into something, and that is the value about working with a CPA who is also active in real estate. Because they can provide you with a different perspective, because they are doing exactly what you want to do, or you are doing right now.
Excellent. So, let's talk about how our listeners can get in touch with you, Jason. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yes, the best way to get in touch with me is by hitting me up on Instagram. It's a real estate tax pro underscore official, or we are also launching our website pretty soon. It's going to be realestatetexpro.com.
All right, excellent. We'll make sure to put those in the show notes. Jason, thanks for being on the show, man, and I'll catch you in the green room.
Yes, thank you very much.